Well, it was a shortened series. Happy with our guys' performance. An altered schedule and jumbling things around. I thought the guys responded pretty well.
And then looking ahead, you've got 8 straight games here at home starting this weekend, 4 with New Mexico Highlands. What do you know about them?
Well, Highlands is a good offensive club. They have a couple of good arms, and they're certainly as dangerous as anybody if you're not ready to play.
And your role has changed quite a bit this year. Within the pitching staff, you've been a starter, you're now a closer. How have you handled the different roles that you've played this year?
Basically, any opportunity I've gotten, I've been really thankful for. I had a lot of working with Raj, our pitching coach, in the fall, and he just basically told me that whatever way we decide to use you, you're going to have to embrace it. And either way, whenever I'm going in, I just looking out there to embrace any role that I get.
And Harrison, your bats really started to heat up the last 2 weeks. What's been different now as opposed to kind of earlier in the year?
It's just kind of getting more comfortable with my at-bats and just staying easy, seeing the pitch, and just trying to help the team win, really.
Questions?
Obviously, you've had some guys get hurt and bounce back. And it's just kind of a testament to the depth on this team. You lose a shortstop for a while, you've lost Frankie for a while, and it's just next guy up mentality. How do you just kind of keep the guys that hungry when they know, I don't know what?
Well, we have a saying in our program: when the game finds you, make sure it finds you ready. And we challenge probably them with that close to weekly. We start talking about it in the fall and in our team meetings early in the year. And we have a concept that we refer to as the team of the moment. And our team of the moment is any group of guys that's out there at any given time. And we want to be sure that regardless of who's out there, we aren't weakened and we can win with anybody.
Harrison, we talked a little bit a couple weeks ago about how you've done that. You started to come off the bench, you started again.
Yeah.
How do the guys on the bench kind of handle that when you're not playing?
I think it's a thing of staying engaged during every game, whether you never come off the bench or if you do come off the bench or if you start. Just always being engaged in what's happening and seeing the game, because the mental reps that you take from watching in the dugout, they do affect how you play on the field if you do get in.
And you can throw almost every day. Skip said earlier that you got a really resilient arm, and if you only have to throw one inning, that's even better. Is that kind of the way you look at it?
Yeah, I just, any way to help the team I think is good, and I am able to bounce back, day after day. I don't tend to get very sore very easily, and most of my appearances, like you said, are 1 to 2 innings and just come out, get out of a jam, and then go to the next guy, and that's how a lot of it goes. But I think it is really cool to be able to come back day to day.
With the way the starters have got so deep in so many games, and you never know, okay, is this going to be a day that I'm going to throw? Just trying to get some mental preparation as you watch hitters.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've learned being here is that when you watch the starters go, you see their 1 through 9, who they're facing and what they do. And it's actually really beneficial to me because I can see what the leadoff does for 3 at-bats. And then if I do go in that 8th inning, 9th inning, I know what he did for those 3 at-bats before, and I'm able to go off of that. And I think it's actually really beneficial to see our starters run so deep. It just keeps our bullpen healthy, and it helps our bullpen pitchers.
I don't know if you really guys look at it, but the individual awards, you get pitchers of the week, players of the week, conference of the week. How do you guys do you look at that, or what's that mean for you?
Well, it's a great question, and as we tell the guys, it's all poison. Regardless of how you look at that, it's in the past. How you handle it is what's most important. We jokingly say handle the attaboy, but seriously we mean it. And how a guy processes that information can really affect his preparation the next week. And because there is a tendency to maybe let up and enjoy the pats on the back, which I think you can do both. I think you can enjoy that but remain focused. So we address it a lot. It'd be a lie to say that people don't look at it or enjoy it, but how you handle it, there's a great responsibility there.
And then, you're going a couple wins in a row. How do you guys handle that on a day-to-day and when you're looking to into the next game?
Every game's a whole new game, you know, and the decisions you make and how you prepare or anything else can affect you for not one game, but maybe 2, 3, 4 games. You know, everything, as we say, is connected in some way. So it's real important to maintain that focus and, you know, look at the bigger picture.
Do you guys scout the opponents, or is it playing your best ability, going with goals? Because I forget it was last week when you guys put up 15 runs, and also ended up a nothing or 3 innings. If you don't need the offense, but you're getting goals, how do you guys go about that? With both sides playing so hard, pitching and
With scouting,
yeah, just in general, preparing for opponents.
well, you know, we always talk about how the opponent we're playing doesn't affect our preparation or the perceived quality of the opponent. We're in control of how we prepare. And if we can get to a point where we prepare the same way week in and week out, then that leads to consistency. But it's a real thing we have to battle. You know, it's human nature to maybe let up or increase your effort level based on an opponent. And I think there's an art there to figuring out how to prepare in a consistent way that allows you to play consistently as an individual or a team. So we address that a lot.
And players, you guys do anything? You have the backs going and the defense is working. How you guys feel?
It's definitely always to stay locked in on your next at bat because all of them do matter. The game, there's no time limit on baseball, so any team can always come back. You always got to be engaged in the game on defense and on offense.
As being a pitcher, it's always nice when when your teammates are putting up runs. It makes the game a lot easier. And sometimes when we're not scoring runs, it makes the game a little bit harder. But I think our approach overall as a team is really well.
Coming in last inning of the second game Sunday, I mean, like everybody said, it got a little hairy there for a while. What's your focus when you come in and like, say, well, I got to get us out of this?
Yeah, it was. I saw it happen. We had that error right at the beginning, and that was kind of tough to see. And usually right after that, just knowing the game of baseball, something bad kind of happens. And, we had a couple guys that struggled a little bit. And once my name got called, I just knew that the job had to be done. I was really confident in myself. And then my teammates behind me, they're always going to make plays for me, and I just think it worked out well.
We talked a little bit last home game when you gave Hayden the last game off, just to kind of let him reset. Apparently it worked pretty well. But is it kind of nice to be able to say, okay, Hayden, go sit down and take a day off and see what happens?
Yeah, and I think it's really important for guys to get a change of perspective. And it also releases a little bit of pressure that any individual's feeling about their own performance or what they are perceived to have to do for the team. And it's interesting when you take a guy out like Hayden, for example, last weekend. I mean, personally, I noticeably saw, a little bit of pressure being released, pressing, things like that. And I think simply watching a game for a lot of guys helps reset things.
Me and Matt, I know, are kind of going, jockeying back and forth, verbally, with, home runs and hitting, Kind of nice to see a little bit of inter-squad competition for things like that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all about competition, and how you handle that's real important. But I think competition within a team can be very healthy as long as it's handled in the right way. And I think we have a lot of guys competing in positions, and to this point, I think most of it's very healthy if they push each other.
And it's really true in the middle infield because you've got 3 or 4 guys who can play both those positions, really all 3. If they're second or third, somebody gets hurt, and it's like, hey, it's just my turn.
Yeah, it's like we've all been pushing each other since the fall and into the spring. It's like Skip said, healthy competition because we're all pushing each other to be our best version of ourselves.
Coach, we talked a little bit about how you guys react to weekly honors when it comes to the statistics. Do you discourage your players from looking at those, or you just kind of let them use it?
We don't really address that. All we address is whether it's weekly accolades as a team, individuals, or individual statistics. It's a real responsibility in how you handle that. And if in any way it softens your approach, then it'll probably have a negative result. We try to educate them on that, because outside of that, in today's world, I mean, back when I started coaching, you could hide the stats from the guys, you know, but today you can't do that. So they're going to look at them. They're going to get a lot of pats on the back when they do things well. And I think it's my job as a coach to keep them grounded. And then if they don't do a good job of it, point it out when that occurs, and so that they can make an adjustment the next time they have some success.
All right, question of the week, something new. We're gonna ask you a question on who's most likely to on the team to do something. All right, one by one, you guys will answer, okay?
All right.
So who's most likely to forget their gear?
Go.
Josh Danilou. I don't know. That was the first name that came to mind.
I got to be honest, that was the first name that came to mind with me too. I can't even tell you.
It just
I don't know if
popped
he actually
up.
ever has. It's just, he just seems like that kind of guy.
Josh Danilou.
Who's most likely to pull a prank?
Tanner Garner.
I don't know. Tanner Garner. Well, he did one this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it
did.
was-
That's-
it was a
I was
good
going to
one,
say the
yeah.
same thing.